What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a special episode of Tales from the Taro Patch. I have my first female guest, and I consider her to be a mana wahine, and I'll let her introduce herself.
Thank you, Kaika. Aloha, my name is Kalei Mau. I'm born and raised right here in the beautiful Kahaluʻu, so I'm feeling right at home.
Solid. Well, just to get a better idea of the environment that kind of raised my guests, I always like to start off with where you're from, obviously Kahaluʻu, but also like what schools you went and how it was for you growing up, like what values you learned, like family life, stuff like that.
I would say I was very privileged to grow up in such a beautiful town. My dad and my mom, they raised us to be respectful and grateful for our surroundings and our environment. My dad is a fisherman, a diver, a hunter, a cowboy. He's everything.
Solid.
And by seeing him, always bring home food and put food on the table for us, I figured we were rich.
Yeah.
We were wealthy. My grandparents also supported us because we all lived together in one home.
Okay, like
And
multi-generational kind?
Yeah, my opinion, I think people are better when raised by their grandparents. Yeah, I don't know. It's another privilege that I get to talk about because my grandparents taught us respect, values, and just to be a good person, be patient, And now that they're older, wow, I'm so grateful that they gave me so much energy of theirs when they were young, yeah, because now I give them mine as much as I can. But I grew up on a Huimanu Road. I went to Heiʻia Elementary, kindergarten through 6th grade.
Hawks, baby!
Yeah, Heiʻia Hawks. My mom and dad went through a really rough patch with their marriage, just around my 11 years old, which I thought was a very important age for me in my life, where I was really starting to figure things out, ask questions, be real observant. So they ended up splitting up, sadly, and my dad ended up moving to Maui. So we moved to Waiʻehuko in Maui, and then I went to St. Anthony's. That's where actually I developed my love for music.
Okay.
Yep, I was also blessed enough to meet and know Josh Totofi. We went to, I was in the middle school when he was in the high school, and it was a junior high, so it was combined.
Interesting.
And every recess we used to play music,
jam
and all that. But after that, after Maui, we came back home for high school. Sports was very big in my life, so the opportunities here on Oahu was better for me as a young athlete. So went to St. Francis. Continued my private school education, but ended up, and I don't claim St. Francis too much because things were, let's just say adversity was there. With, the people and...
That school closed down, no?
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah, it did. But I graduated from Kaiser High School. I only went there for 1 semester, but I'm a proud cougar.
Mean.
Yeah.
I really like what you said about growing up with your grandparents, and like I grew up with my grandparents too, because same thing, my parents split up when I was a kid, and grandparents, they're the family's anchors, you know what I mean?
So solid for us.
But like one of my mana'o I really like cherish from, like, it's basically like we're getting the same ike and values that was like instilled into our parents, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're learning from their source of knowledge.
Right.
So yeah, I was blessed to be raised by my papa, because I feel like people from that generation, like, they're hard.
Yeah.
Like they don't let the slightest little adversity freaking throw them off their game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like
my grandpa always taught me, like, anything in life you want, you're gonna have to earn. Like nothing comes free, and your work better be good, because that's your name. Like when people think of you, they're gonna think of how you work. Like if you're a Stanley or if you boss ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's super cool that you got that too. And also in Hawaii, I just feel like that multi-generational household is like not one of the only ways people can own land, but it definitely is like a big part of, I guess, the Hawaii culture. Just, I'm not gonna say like everybody has kids young, but my parents definitely had kids young.
Same.
So I feel like the grandparents kind of, they get stuck raising their kids, but So I
It's-
kind of look at my mom like we have a sister-brother
Oh,
relationship.
I'm best friends with my parents.
Yeah.
I respect them. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
feared them once, but I got to learn from their mistakes.
Yeah.
I got to grow up with them, and I'd
Totally.
say, oh, okay, I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
Marriage,
Yeah.
talking about their marriage. I probably am going to align myself first before I start having a family, and that's always what I've stood by. And that's actually why I've been able to do everything that I've wanted to do as a young girl and get that done. I'm 28 years old now. I'm 20. Yeah, I'm 28. Oh, see, look.
You gotta think, like, oh,
yeah,
shit.
I got to. But I've lived such a full life that my age really doesn't even matter. I like to say that I've gotten my education from my experiences.
Yeah.
And so grateful. But I love that we have that in common. My
Yeah.
grandparents, I feel like I owe the world to. But one thing that I think you mentioned about the multi-generational households and whatnot, as we have that privilege that we've gotten to be supported. I never felt neglected.
Yeah.
Like if my dad was too busy, boom, I had my mom.
Yeah.
If my mom was too busy, my grandma can pick me up from school. If cannot, my grandpa will. And and everyone's just working as a big team.
Yeah.
And that's why my kane, I love Jalani so much. He's not from Hawaiʻi, but I'm doing everything I can to teach him my culture and show him that, look, this is how beautiful it is to have everyone involved, He grew up in Los Angeles, and later on you can hear his story, but his mom and dad grinded for that family. And to me, I'm like, your mom did that all by herself. No, none of your grandparents, no nothing. So in a way, my partner shows me how blessed I am even more that people, some people don't get what we have.
Yeah.
We don't get to hang out with our grandparents or go for a quick manapua or old kind things like that. So
that's so true, because like both of my grandparents hollered already, and they got to meet all of my siblings' kids, and I'm just like, shit, I don't even have kids yet, and they're never gonna get to have that relationship. But it's not like I am all sick about it, but I just wish I had longer with them too,
yeah. I mean, I still have mine, thankfully, but I don't have keiki of my own.
Yeah.
And I would love. I mean, how crazy is that? My sister's kids, she has 4. They live with their great grandparents. Like my grandma is their great grandma, and she's taking them to school, picking them up, taking them to practice, picking them up. Like if one person can't be there to do that.
And bad, they're gonna hold on that for life. Cause like I literally have memories of my great grandma sitting under that gazebo, reading me little like picture books when I was a kid, while she'd be freaking like doing her tarot or whatever. And yeah, like I literally remember her, like, and I was only like 5, 6.
Man.
Have you ever going through your life, what do you feel was like your coming to consciousness moment? Like, for example, I feel like mine was like my 4th birthday, because that's literally like my oldest memory I have, I guess. Like, I remember just being around the cake and being like, oh shit, everybody's singing for me. And then I feel like that was my first like aware of self moment, if you ever had one of those.
Shoots. I spent the first half of my life being so oblivious, naive, kolohe.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't care about what anyone else was doing, just myself. Like real self-centered in a good way, just because like, it's my world. Like, yeah. I'm also the youngest of my mom and dad's kids. So I ended up having a blended family from my dad.
Okay.
From his second marriage, and then.
Oh, does that just mean you have other half siblings and stuff?
I have step siblings. Okay. Yeah. So funny. I'm the baby girl. I have I got all the attention. I'm like, hey, watch me do this. Like everything, right? It was my first heartbreak that really got me back down to earth. Had me question my own worth and my value to one person.
Yeah.
Sucks. And I let somebody else's behavior and decisions affect me and who I was and who I looked in the mirror and saw. And actually it had me in the dumps for about maybe 3 months. And this is at a time where I could not afford to. I had just started my rookie season playing professional volleyball all the way in Puerto Rico. It was my first year ever. I was the only import on this team. Making my first big check I ever made. This was my first real job right out of college. And I had so many people that I could have let down from, you know, being a different person. I found out the brother I was seeing at the time for a long time was unfaithful to me. And I was like, how? You don't know loyalty? You know, like, but that, now I look back and I'm thankful for him and for what I went through. Because I wouldn't be a manawahine. I would be still naive. I would still think that everything is all good. Like,
like the movies.
Things, you know, could actually go wrong. And against what you plan or what you see, you know. So I think everyone has to go through something like that, whether it's something in life that just stops or halts of your progress for something that you work so hard for, or even in relationships. So honestly, that's really something that started kickstarting my creativity to write music, to express myself through music, and then to hold myself together as an athlete, to show up and to compete still at a high level. And not, you know, be a crybaby.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So like, as a kid, what was your, or like, what did you want to be when you grew up? Did you always know you wanted to like play sports, or like, how did that become a goal?
I grew up playing soccer, very competitive soccer here on the island. My dad was my coach, so I was stereotypical coach's kid, like at the park until the lights go out, kind of. Like juggling 100 times on my head with the ball, and on my, you know, everything before I go in to take a shower, like that, and that kind of work and training I put into. So yeah, I was thinking like, well, obviously I'm working so hard at this. I gotta be something in this sport. Like, this has to be a career, you know. But not many people from Hawaii get that opportunity. So when I stumbled upon volleyball in high school, and we can get into that later, but long story short, it was something new and shiny and something that didn't directly only bond me with my dad, but then it also gave my mom kuleana to be a part of something. And I was like, ooh, I love this.
Like everyone involved.
Everyone involved. And so I was like, okay, let's run with it. And for me, my competitive ass, like, I'm not gonna be mediocre. So I went all the way in and fell in love with the sport and got to compete at the highest level, which was at the time Division I volleyball.
Super sick.
We ride for volleyball at 2 universities, University of Minnesota first, and I transferred to Arizona, and then played 8 years pro overseas.
How does the transfer portal work?
It wasn't anything like this, like how it is now. But it basically, there was no money involved, that's for sure. But I was at Minnesota. It's a Big Ten conference at the time, and just high, like very high level. And I'm just a Kahaluʻu girl. Like, I played volleyball for 2 years prior, and I found myself in one of the biggest programs in the country, and I was like, I'm never gonna play here. I won't probably not succeed here at all. I don't see myself getting better because I can't even get reps. So I stuck it out for 1 full season and then another spring semester. And then I transferred back to the West Coast and just kind of aligned with the type of style of volleyball that I was used to. And then my coach at University of Arizona, he was Filipino Japanese. So already we were on a level of understanding of my culture, you know. He invested his time in me, and he was like, you got some potential, girl. Like, I'm just gonna put in I gotta put you through a lot of work in these next 2 years that I have you. And so that's exactly what he did. And by my senior year, I finished as an All-American. I had some of my best games in my career at that school, and then had the opportunity to play pro, and that was just the start of it.
Super sick. For those of you who don't know, could you explain what All-American means?
So it's on like a ranking, like a rating for college sports. Yeah. What is it?
All-American is basically the top players in each position. So, so in football, like if you're the best of the best, they name you to the All-American team. So it used to be different. So they used to have games. They used to have an All-American game. Now in college at least, they just award the guys who
Best stats and
basically, well, not. It doesn't even have to really be stats. It's whoever was the big impact at each position. So they'll choose 11 guys on offense, 11 guys on defense, and then it'll be like first team All-American, second team, and then if there's a third team, then third team. But basically, it was just a award for the players in all of the NCAA. So you're basically, it's like an all-star. Like you're an all-star.
Solid.
yeah. Could that pick his voice?
Yeah, my camera mic is
Okay.
rolling too.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm not sure. I just love the title. All-American.
Bet, I'll be that.
Yeah.
Could you maybe describe one of your best memories from your childhood?
Of course. I have so much, but probably full moon night torching at St. John's by the sea with my dad. This is something that we would do often.
Yeah,
But-
right on the shelf, so.
Oh my gosh, it was just. My dad is so insightful. He's very intellectual as a Kahaluʻu boy.
Mean.
He can have the deepest conversations, and me and my dad, we have a very strong bond. We have a good connection, where he raised me as his son, basically. So we
Partner.
had, and we honestly we would torch at night, and there's no wind, and you could just talk very softly and just. That was some of the best times of my life as a kid, is learning about the ocean and what it gives, what it can bring us.
Yeah, seeing
And
all
then-
the different fish or
Yeah,
species.
and nobody's in a rush at that time of night. Like they're all just chilling.
Yeah,
and
literally,
sleeping.
they're chilling too.
Um,
They look at you just like, oh, what's up,
Yep.
brother?
You don't have to. There's no violence in it.
Yeah,
We just put the barbed wire cage right over, boom, put him in the box.
yeah,
Drag it. He's still in the water.
yeah,
with
still
us,
alive.
like,
Yeah,
and
walking your pet fish.
It's the most peaceful capturing of an animal that's gonna be food later on.
Yeah.
I think that was. It's in a long list of my favorite childhood moments.
That's super cool. For those of you who don't know, torching is like a fishing method where you go out at night, and it's usually on like the flats or the shelves of reefs. But back in the old traditional Hawaiian days, they'd actually like have a torch for light, obviously. But nowadays, people just use flashlights, and you usually just go with like a scoop net.
Yeah.
And whatever you find, you basically just put it in a bucket and take it. But yeah, super fun method of fishing. I like it because a lot of stuff comes out at night that you don't get to see in the day. Like even like shining your light at different species makes them react like differently too. So super cool.
Yeah.
So you spoke a little bit about it earlier, but could you talk more in depth about how you got into music and your passion for it, basically?
Yeah. So when I was telling you a little bit about me as a kid, I was such a ball of life and joy. Yeah. I loved to perform. I loved the attention. I loved the spotlight. So I always used to sing. I used to sing in the back, in my car seat, in my booster seat, in the back seat. Turn it up, Mom, turn it up. I love this song. And I would sing every single song on the radio. Like, and my parents would look back like, you heard this song before? Like, my family is not the most musical. We jam, like we dance, we jam and stuff, but no one taught me like how to hold a note
Yeah,
or
yeah.
just to do it. But thankfully, I guess I would like to say that maybe I was born with it.
Yeah.
Like with the rhythm of my voice and the riffs and the runs. I mean, I'm pretty good at like visualizing or hearing what I need to do and try copy and like make it of my own style.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I used to do that. I listened to a lot of Bob Marley, Lauryn Hill. When I got older, some Mariah Carey, Chris Brown, Usher, you know. And I would love the sound of it and try and mimic their styles. And then when I got to about middle school, I joined, you know, at recess, we're either, you know, I'm spending like 10 minutes playing kickball or soccer or football, but the other, because I'm a sweaty kid,
Yeah.
I'm still a sweaty kid, the other half of the recess, I'll go underneath the tree
And
with
jam.
the music, with the music kids.
The boy with the ukulele.
And jam and cool off.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh, can you play this song? And I would sing it with everything I got. And then everyone just knew me as like a singer. And so in 7th grade, I remember Tori Piccoli Wong of Wong's Village, that Ohana, she took out her little camera and she recorded me singing and playing this song. I forget what it was, but she put it on YouTube without my permission.
Oh.
And I started getting recognized. The video, Small Kind, went viral. And I was recognized at Nanko's at first.
Mean.
At the fishing store with my dad. And a full-grown uncle and his kid came up to my dad and was like, hey, brother Steve, your daughter, she sing, yeah? My daughter like her autograph. And he was like, what? Kalei. You know, and I was like, huh? And my dad goes, she like your autograph. You know how to spell your name? And I was like, yeah. Like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
He didn't either. And then at the time, of course, my parents was not okay with me being on the internet or something.
Yeah.
He was like, what they talking about? So we somehow get to a computer, put my name on YouTube, Kalei Mau singing.
Yeah.
And there it was, maybe like 30,000 views at the time.
Bro, I think I know. Is that the video? Bro, my girlfriend. When I told my girlfriend that I'm having you as a guest, she was like, "That's what she knew you from, was like your old singing videos on YouTube." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that is the same girl. I didn't even put that together."
Yeah.
But I checked, and that one video has like over 300,000 views already.
Yeah. Well, it was actually ended up being tweeted by a bunch of like celebrities.
Oh.
So it low-key went viral, but I was like, oh. I mean, I had no idea that it was there.
That's super cool.
Yeah, but then I don't know, I just followed my heart. That's with everything that I've done. And music really became the center of my life.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's pumping me up for a game or just like making me be in a better mood, or if I'm sad, we're listening to a sad song so it can go with it. You know? And it just became so important to me that it became me.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Very nice. Could you talk a little bit about like your cultural background? Like maybe what ethnicities you are and like how those played a role in your upbringing?
Of course, yeah. So I'm Hawaiian first and foremost, Filipino, Chinese, and Irish. My mom is Hapa. She's Filipino, Irish, and my dad is Hawaiian, Chinese. We are Hawaiian. We grew up native Hawaiian. My grandmother's side, the one that helped raise me, she is raised here in Kahaluʻu also.
Okay.
And so we grew up with the values and also educated about our history and our lineage and how important who we are, our roots, you know. My dad is especially very, very proud to be Hawaiian and from Kahaluʻu. So as I got older, actually, I realized how I carry my mana and hold my chest up high because of who I come from. A lineage, my ohana goes back to the Maokini line, the Kamalani line. And so my family originated from Kohala many years ago on the Big Island, the north point of the Big Island.
Yeah.
My name is Kalei Mau o Kohala, which means the feathered lei from the mamo bird that originated in Kohala.
That's beautiful.
And it's also where Kamehameha was, I think he was raised there. I know he was born in Kealakekua Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think his mommy is from
He's
Kohala,
spent choke time in Kohala.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But our ohana has a heiau up at Kohala.
Oh.
And we go there for our blessings, for Children's Day, to explain our moku auhau, or our lineage there. Man, I think it's so important for kids to know, you know,
who they come from.
And for me, I'm grateful that I did, because my grandma would tell me, I asked so many questions, but my grandma would tell me everything about her parents. And if she remembered even a little bit, I want to know about her her parents' parents.
Yeah.
I'm just one of those kids that are always asking.
Yeah.
Niele.
Yeah.
That question.
A lot of people think niele is a negative word, but it's just like inquisitive.
Yeah. You always like the person that
You
asks
really want to
good
know,
questions,
yeah.
right? But so yeah, I'm a proud Hawaiian, but I also have an appreciation for my Asian heritage, especially now after I played and lived in Asia for more than 6 years.
Oh, mean.
Yep. I think we downplay the Philippines too much as local people, because we got Filipinos, and there's never a good like image for them.
Yeah.
Not good enough, because when I go to the Philippines, I see the beauty in these people. Man, like
there's so much similarities between Philippines and Hawaii too
the
that
love is the same.
yeah, they even got tribals.
They have tribal.
Like the indigenous.
They have fire food.
Yeah.
So I saw a lot of the similarities, but when I know for sure God took me to the Philippines and allowed that path from my career to get me there.
Yeah.
I love every place that I've gotten to live and experience, but I know for a fact I needed to go to the Philippines to find myself.
Yeah.
And my mom is half Filipino. She was born in the Philippines and moved to Makakilo at 2 years old. So she didn't know too much about her heritage. And she would probably claim that she's not Hawaiian, but she's a Hawaii girl.
Yeah.
So I never thought that was good enough. I always wanted to know, but she couldn't tell me. She doesn't speak the language. She cooks maybe. Nah, she doesn't cook too much Filipino food. But when I went there, I realized that a lot of my traits and the way that I love is so much
like
from
that.
the Philippines. Oh man, just so nice, such good people, smiling through everything.
Yeah. How old were you when you were going through that part of your life?
So it was 2018 that I went to the Philippines and I started my pro career there. After 2 years of living there, I was able to claim residency in the country and I got my citizenship. So I'm a dual citizen of the Philippines.
Oh, super cool.
Yep, I competed for the national team of the Philippines for like 3 years, and getting to represent that country, the pride is real. Like Hawaiians, we are so proud to be Hawaiian. Filipinos are on their life for their own country.
I seen a funny meme, speaking of that, where it's a Filipino boy and then he is like, POV, you're a Filipino that sees the Philippines mentioned anywhere. He's on Google Maps scrolling and he's like, oh, Philippines!
Yeah.
Philippines, yeah!
Yeah.
Like that's such they're really prideful. That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, look at us. Like we rep our
zip codes,
our freaking like our towns.
Yeah. I think that's so funny, repping our zip codes, because it's like we all literally live within a 50-mile radius of each other. Like, what?
Exactly.
Like, your life is not that different from mine, brother. Sorry.
Yeah.
So what was like one of the biggest culture shocks that first struck you when you went there?
Oh man, I would say the living situation. I think, again, I want to emphasize the word privilege.
Yeah.
Because I've seen poverty. I've seen what you saw in Texas when you explained to me what you saw at the border. Yeah. It's just, if you think you have it bad, there's worse.
Yeah.
And so I've always said, like when I became a pretty well-known and highly valued volleyball player in the professional side of things, I had high expectations for my accommodations, my transportation, and I was like, no, that needs to be it needs to be clean before I arrive. I need to sit first class because I'm 6'2" and I need to be comfortable on that 12-hour flight.
Because I need to play good.
Right. And I had my standards until I went to the Philippines and realized what they were giving me was the best that they could. The food, the living situations, even the book bedding. I couldn't get over it. I'm like, what is this orange pillow doing in the middle of my bedroom? Like, why is the blankets purple? Like, it needs to not, because I'm also a content creator, and what are we doing here? Like, I'm going to go to the store right now and I need to get all white sheets, all this. I had a certain vision and look that I need to have. But like, I started to actually embrace their culture and embrace the crazy colors and the weird, what is this, Cool Whip containers like
full of whatever. Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I mean,
you think you're opening butter, it's leftovers
it's
from
leftovers
last night.
with the Neapolitan gallon
Ice
container
cream, yeah.
with freaking dinaguan inside. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't want that.
Oh, dinaguan, that's the
blood meat.
Yeah, oh bro. That one is kinda nuts.
It is.
I mean, I love adobo, but dinaguan is kinda, I'm good.
What are you hapa with?
Hawaiian Chinese mostly, and then my dad is Hawaiian Chinese, Portuguese, and I think Puerto Rican, but I'm not too sure. Yeah. So yeah, both my parents are Hawaiian Chinese. My papa's family is from Kauai, Ka'ohis. My grandma's from Maui. She's a Q. And then my dad's dad is from Oahu too, but he's a Varis. And then his mom is an Akaka,
Okay.
like the senator and stuff. So that's my ohana too. So yeah, I have a pretty big family. Like I went to Kauai for my family reunion last year, and my great grandma, the one that this is her farm, she was a sibling of 17 plus 5 hanai, I think. So 22 in all.
Holy.
So huge
Big,
family
yeah.
reunion. And it's funny because like a lot of my cousins that live over here, I never would have met them unless I went to Kauai for that family reunion. So now that we know we're related, like frick, I see a couple of my cousins at UH all the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's cool like knowing you have pilina with people, you know?
Yeah.
Can you talk more about your, I guess, journey through volleyball and like how you started and eventually like how it was in the pros?
Yeah. I started in high school, yeah. I just was encouraged to play all the sports. I was on a athletic scholarship at St. Francis in Manoa, and I played softball, basketball, ran track, and soccer, obviously, and then volleyball was one of them. And I think I wouldn't say I excelled in the sport my first year, but I thought, man, this is so fun. I love it. Like, especially I was hitting my growth spurt that year.
Okay.
So I was taller than most of the girls.
Yeah.
And so it did come a little easier for me to like, hit over the net or like block balls that were coming my way. So I was like, ooh, I love it.
Yeah.
And then I ended up going to the UH volleyball camp one summertime, and I went with my one of my best friends, and her sport was volleyball.
Okay.
So she played soccer with me, and I played volleyball with her.
Okay.
Just to keep company.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting during the 3-day camp, at the last day of the camp, I got separated from my friends and went to the advanced group.
Oh.
And basically, I don't know if you know Dave Shoji. He's the
legendary volleyball coach.
Legendary head coach of the Wahines for so long.
Literally legendary.
So he came up to me and was like, who's picking you up from camp today? And I said, my mom. And he said, okay, well, I want to talk to her. And I was like, oh shoot, what did I do?
Yeah.
So after the camp, my mom picked me up, and I was like, Mom, Coach Dave Shoji wants you to go to his office, me and you, and he wants to talk to you. She goes, what did you do? And I was like, nothing, Mom.
Yeah.
So we go, and he actually offered for me to play for this volleyball club that practiced at UH, had all UH coaches.
Mean.
And she was like, I mean, if you want to, like, you're going to have your driver's license soon, and you're going to be able to do what you want. Like, if it's according to your time, like your schedule.
Yeah, like if it lines up with you, yeah.
And so, perfect. I took it. I did have some hard times, even trying to learn a sport at 15 years old.
Yeah.
When I'm already probably one of the best in my age group for soccer. I'm like, oh, I don't really love the humble beginnings, but we're gonna push through. And after, I mean, high school was real short. Like the high school volleyball era was real short for that time. And then college, man, crazy. The culture shock was nuts, going to the Midwest, even being on the West Coast for a little. Is Arizona considered the West Coast?
Yeah.
That is just such a different world. You know, the kids there, they're not Hawaiʻi.
Bruh.
Hawaiʻi kids.
Yeah.
You know, and I was really judged.
Yeah.
I really didn't have, which I was a pretty good scholar in high school, and I didn't have the best English, apparently. And so I was really pushed. My buttons were pressed, and I still had to keep my aloha, my level of kindness and respect. But it was really, at times, hard for me.
Yeah.
You know, it was always repeating myself for other people, making myself uncomfortable for other people to be comfortable.
Yeah.
And I just learned to shift my own ways to fit, to let people, you know, for me to fit them.
Yeah, like conform to however they want. Yeah,
because I realized I am the haole.
Yeah.
I'm the one that's
there.
foreign
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of my eating habits had to change to be a high level athlete, which was really hard for me.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that I ate growing up, I couldn't eat. Like, all that stuff that I ate got me to this level.
Yeah.
And now you want me to change it?
Yeah.
You know, so my body changed a lot. I actually fell in that deep, dark hole of eating disorder and body image, like feeling not enough as a wahine, as a female, to even like compete at that level, because I'm like, oh, my legs are bigger than everyone's, or like, you know, my body doesn't look like the shape of hers, or you know, my teammates who are very thin and, you know, they're tall, they're all skinny, and they're looking in the mirror at themselves saying, I'm fat. And I'm like, what does that make me?
Yeah.
You know? But that's all stuff that you question, you can question yourself when you're young and you don't know better.
Yeah.
And like I told you, what my coming to life moment was, and my most eye-opening experience was getting my heart broken. And I think that's what made me be like, there is not one person in this world that is me.
Yeah.
And anybody that gets to be loved by me and gets to have the privilege of having me as a friend, because I like to think that I'm a good person to have on your side. I said, that's it. Nobody is going to make me question myself.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it wasn't all glitz and glam. It wasn't a easy journey, but we got through it and we got better from it.
Yeah. That's the main thing. I feel like those moments of adversity really define your character. If you're gonna be like one of those roll over and take it kind of people, or fight through it. I mean, speaking of anime, the protagonist never has it easy, you know what I mean? You think they give up after the first time? Like,
that's what I love about anime.
Yeah.
I put myself in those kind of stories.
Bro, straight up, like, I get emotionally invested in some, I'm not gonna lie. So, what is one of your favorite things that you got to experience while playing professionally, and then one of your least favorite things that you got to experience?
So, the best, hands down, winning my first championship in the Philippines. Man, I felt like the man. I really did. I won MVP that year, and just nothing could go wrong in my world for like maybe 3 weeks after it too. Just everything.
Yeah,
like,
that's a long
good
high.
things happening all at once. And then it just made me hungry for more. Like that's when you reach the top, you don't want to leave that.
Yeah.
And so I think I changed. Like my perspective, I became even more animal. Like I wanted nothing. I don't want anybody to come close.
Like it made you more hungry almost.
Oh my gosh. I don't even think I had an off season that year. Like I just kept going. And I love my time off.
Yeah.
But after that first championship,
Addicting.
no one was going to take my crown. That's for sure. And then I would say the worst thing in my, I think every athlete can agree, is being injured and not having anything. You cannot do anything to do what you know what you're doing in your head.
Yeah.
Like mentally, you want to be out there, but physically, you can't.
Yeah.
Like whether it's a leg or, for me, it was my shoulder because I'm a hitter.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, I would literally try and swing and I couldn't. And that's the worst.
Yeah.
And then sitting out and watching your team suffer because there's a big puka without you on the court.
Yeah.
It's torture. It sucks. So I would say my experiences, the worst ones were not being healthy. Because what's the point?
Yeah. How did you get your injury? Was it just through
Over
like
time?
Oh, okay.
It wasn't one specific accident, but just hitting a lot of balls in my life. I dislocated here and there, put it back, run them hard, and it was just, I hit the point of my career where it's had enough.
Yeah, bro, that's animal. I never had anything dislocated, thankfully, but I did have a few broken bones, bro, and like, yeah, that stuff is not pleasant.
Nope.
I think one of my biggest PTSD moments is like when I had to go get surgery for something. Like my insurance wouldn't cover putting me under, so I had to do it with like just numbing stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, bruh, like they had to cut something out of my chest, but like, I felt like all the blood dripping into my armpit. Every little like slice they did with the scalpel, like it's not sore, but you feel them slicing you. You know what I mean? And just that. Yeah, it was honestly like torture.
Yeah.
But and then the recovery was bad too, cause it got definitely it got infected and it just started like inflating with blood, bruh. And then one day, it just burst open and it was literally like black chunky blood. And like I almost passed out just seeing that much blood come from myself. I was like, holy shit. But yeah, injuries and surgeries, that stuff is no joke, bro. Like people, when they see like a professional athlete get injured and then they see how the athlete reacts, like they don't understand.
There's way more emotion behind the hurt, the pain.
It's like they're thinking of their future in this.
Their career.
Yeah, literally.
Or all the work that they
put into that
to
lead them to there. Yeah. I seen a clip of Jeremy Lin when he tore his ACL. Oh yeah, he was literally just saying, "Oh, I'm done, bro."
It's a wrap. That's some injuries
change you forever.
It's career ending, and it's just heart shattering.
Yeah. I'll save that question for after. Looking at your life through social media, you seem to be like super insanely busy. How do you manage all of the different, I guess, avenues of your life, basically?
So I do try to keep myself busy for a reason. I think it's because feeling accomplished is such a good serotonin boost. Like it just gets the endorphins moving, especially when I get to check things off. But I think how I make time is the time management. I was a college athlete at one point. Having to go from here to there to here to there, it's second nature already.
Yeah.
And then I'm only home for just a little bit of time throughout each year. So I have a lot of friends, thankfully. Thank God that each of my friends have a platform or a business that I can support. That's another privilege that I get to do. And since I have that I'll just say platform again. My platform allows me to support, spread awareness, and you know, if I can do anything on my part to help my friends succeed, I'm doing it. I don't care. The last few days, Jelani and I have had to crawl out of bed around noon because tired. It catches up to you.
Yeah.
We're still trying to keep our bodies healthy, stay fit, work out. But also I have photo shoots, I got interviews, we got gigs, now I'm coaching like once a week, but still that's a lot of energy you're giving to little ones. I'm working with young kids, so I'm like, I gotta be enthusiastic. Yeah. But I think just mentally preparing yourself to give more than you get. Yeah. I get so much. Yeah. My cup is always overflowing, so this is now the time to pour into others and then sleep later.
I like that one now. Super solid. What would you say were some of the major values that were taught to you as a child or through your upbringing that you kind of still hold close to you and live by today?
My biggest value, I would say, is ohana. Yeah, I think as any other, I mean, my grandpa, he's Hawaiian Chinese, but my grandpa's Chinese. Like, we gotta make him proud.
Yeah.
And I lived my life around that. You know, I told you that he helped raise me.
Yep.
He put me through a lot of my school and my sports, so I felt the need to owe him my world.
Yeah.
Give him everything that he put into me.
Like show him it wasn't a waste.
Yeah. And so he was a big reason why I did things. And then I keep in mind them.
Yeah.
I keep in mind my mom and my dad and my sister and her children. I'm a proud Anake.
Yeah.
And now I have a beautiful relationship where my partner and I just get to support each other. And I value our love and our growth,
Yeah.
and empowering each other to be our best selves for ourselves and for each other.
Yeah.
And that's really, I value the ocean 100%. I do, truly, and the mountains.
Yeah.
Because that's what raised me.
Nani. I feel like a lot of people that grow up on the mainland don't realize, like, or they don't see the ocean.
They don't get to see the beauty.
Yeah, like they don't even care about it. My friend told me, he's in the Navy, that's why, and he said basically, like the captains will just throw the trash off the ship, even though they know it's bad. And then my friend told me one time, like his, superior or whatever, they were basically trying to order him to throw the trash in the ocean, and my friend was looking at them like, nah, I'm not doing that. Like, you're dumb. Go ask somebody else. I'm from Hawaii. Like,
yeah,
the ocean matters to me.
I'm a big advocate for people that are afraid of the ocean.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? It's beautiful. You know, like it can provide for you. It feeds us. Like, I never could see eye to eye with somebody that doesn't want to jump in, or like, I mean, now that I'm older, I value my life a little more, so I don't jump in at Sandy's.
Yeah.
I don't jump in at Yoke's.
Yeah.
But I do, I will dabble in a nice, calm ka'ava day.
Yeah.
Or at the sandbar or something, but I have a deep appreciation for the ocean and these mountains that are right behind us.
Yeah.
Like, I looked up at them, and every single day, if I was a bored kid, remember being bored as a kid?
I'd kind of, I was never bored. Like, I was either riding bike or adventuring with the neighbors' kids, or literally up in the mountains making trails.
Never a dull moment.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm grateful for. Is like, wow, I know what to do with my time when there's nothing to do.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of, I guess, like growing up in Kahaluʻu, kids spend a lot of their childhood outside.
Yeah.
Or at least when we were growing up.
Yeah.
'Cause,
That's why I
like,
don't know a ton of movies.
Yeah. My grandma would always make me be home before the street lights come on. And if I wasn't, then, putties. But looking back at, like, getting lickings, there wasn't ever a time in my life where I got lickings just because, like, oh, my grandparents was having a bad day, so they can come give me lickings. Like, no, it was because I did something stupid and I needed to wise up.
Yeah. Mine was, I did something stupid, and then I would be explained why I gave you lickings. You think daddy like give you lickings? Yeah. Yes. What? No, you don't want.
Yeah.
But I always had to, there was always some type of transaction where I do something, then I gotta get punished.
Yeah.
But I have to understand why I got punished.
Yeah.
And why I don't do that again. So there's a reason behind everything.
Yeah, for sure. So what are some of your hobbies outside of volleyball or music?
Pickleball.
Oh, nah. I feel like choke people are getting into pickleball
I
nowadays.
love pickleball. We don't get to play it as much as we want to, but when we do, it's on.
It's intense.
And we don't want to leave the park.
So pickleball is pretty much just like tennis, no?
Tennis and ping pong put together.
Oh, okay.
It's on a smaller court, and it's smaller paddles than tennis and bigger than ping pong.
Okay.
And it's with a wiffle ball.
And then you still got to bounce it on their side first before they hit it?
Yes.
Okay.
But after the serve and the return, you can play back to one touch. Like
Oh,
no
like
bounce.
just volley it
Yeah,
kind.
if you want.
Mean, okay. Yeah, I feel like a lot of my friends have been getting into pickleball. I see like they even like go tournaments and stuff.
Oh, you should. They play at Hui-Manu on
Oh,
Tuesday,
mean.
Friday, and Sundays.
Bruh, I thought about making like a little kickball league or like dodgeball or something. Cause like, bruh, recess in elementary, that was the shit.
Oh my
Playing
gosh.
sham battle or
For real.
kickball, like playing that as adults, that would be way more fun. I feel
Oh
like.
my gosh, yeah.
Especially cause like, yeah, you just like we don't do it ever now. So like having fun like that is way more killer.
Yeah, you should do that. I will be there.
Hey,
Him and I will.
yeah, we can be the president of the league.
Yeah.
So, what has living away from Hawaii taught you about Hawaii?
It taught me about myself and who I am and how important it is to stay true to me.
Mm.
I get to be a representation of what aloha is in human form
Yeah.
with people, yeah. And I like to say that the way that I grew up it just plays such a big role in who I am now.
Mm.
Like I used to be a short fuse as a kid.
Oh.
Like I was
Temper.
a little bit. Yeah, I didn't take shit from nobody.
Okay.
And as an adult now, and also as the woman that I hold myself to be,
Mm.
I take a lot more.
Yeah.
Even though I'll go to sleep like wishing I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm very firm believer in karma and God. Well, obviously God's watching everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like He'll take care of it. It's
Yeah.
not my kuleana to get somebody straightened up.
Yep.
You know, especially I'm a woman. Like I gotta take care of myself and what I'm going to create.
Yeah.
It's so important from you, from yourself, your kane or your loved one, and your keiki, your future keiki. Like that's all I'm gonna care about.
Yeah.
And of course my ohana, but that is all that should be relevant to what takes energy from
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
The thought.
Yeah.
And what you think, you know, you're pouring a lot into,
Yep.
and how you react to. So, as I've been living away, I've met Karens, I've met disrespectful, if they were here, haole.
Yeah.
And I go at it with grace, and sometimes holding it in and the frustration or the middle fingers or reacting with
Yeah.
some type of emotion. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be pono all the way around.
My grandma would always tell me, just kill him with aloha, cause there's no point in holding on to all of those icky, yucky feelings.
Yeah.
You're the only one that's being brought down by them. You think the other
know.
person is thinking like, oh, I'm sad that they're sad at me. Like
Yeah.
they could give a rat's ass. So
Yeah.
just kill them with aloha, and then that way you know that you still did your best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you an example. I have this auntie that I don't know if she doesn't like me or not, but she definitely was like snapping at me one day, and I was just like, I love you, auntie, and like, oh, it straight like threw her completely off guard. She was like, what? Just like, I was like, yeah, I love you, auntie. Don't worry, I love you. And it literally just like diffused the whole situation.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It made
Right
her
there.
feel like, oh, like, why am I acting like this?
Taking back.
Yeah.
Taking back a bit.
So kill him with aloha, guys. I know it's hard sometimes, but trust me,
It can be, yeah.
it'll pay off in the end.
Yeah.
What was like I know you was talking about the Philippines a lot, but other than the Philippines, what has been one of your favorite places that you got to travel to, and like what kind of culture was it like over there?
One of the best places, food-wise, Puerto Rico.
Oh, mean.
Like I loved playing there. I got to play there for 2 seasons.
Solid.
My professional debut season in
Mean.
2017. I played on the west side of the island called Maya West.
Okay.
It's a beach town. And
Mean.
it was so awesome. the food is unreal. Like gandule rice.
Yeah.
They call it arroz con gandules.
Oh.
And actually, they don't eat patele all year round.
Yeah.
And it's called pasteles.
Yeah.
There. They only eat it for Christmas.
I heard they don't even make pasteles too.
They don't.
That's a Hawaii thing.
Yeah.
My friend from Puerto Rico owns a food truck. Happy Rico, shout out. They're best pateles too. But yeah, he told me like, yeah, we don't make this in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
It's a Hawaii thing.
They have something like it, and I kept on like trying to find like, do you have this but in stew form?
Yeah.
And they're like, no,
No. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no. And I'm like, gosh, I'm craving. You
Yeah.
know? But I guess, you know, we have a mix of things. Like
Yeah.
Hawaii, we take things and run with it.
Yeah.
And just like how I started my music career, I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Put it in my engine and make it my own in some type of unique way.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I think that's a big metaphor of what Hawaii does with other cultures.
Yep. I feel like, yeah, just like you're saying, like Hawaii, it's not really like, I guess we adopt things from other cultures and then put a Hawaiian twist on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes, I don't want to say it comes better, but definitely,
It comes better.
yeah. Like, how the ukulele is not even from Hawaii, but
Yeah.
like, I'm pretty sure Hawaiians can play the ukulele the best. No, not like out of everybody in the world, but
Honestly,
from the
best
culture
ukulele-
that it
yeah.
came from, like, people in the Pacific play the ukulele kind of better than people from Europe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or even like just with food, like how meat jun was invented in freaking kimchi one right there
Yeah.
in Kaneohe.
Yeah. I went to Korea and tried to get meat jun and it's not.
They don't have it, yeah. Yeah. My friend, he's like, "Bah, meat jun, that's just terry beef French toast."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, that's a good analogy."
Mm-hmm.
So what is? I know you're a big not fan of music, but I know music is a big part of your life. What is your favorite lyric and why?
Wow. I'm trying to think of something from Bob Marley because I've used a lot of his quotes in my life.
Mm.
So I would say, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. I think that's so deep.
Yeah.
I think it's like we are the only people with the right to clear our minds from any type of mental limitation.
Yeah.
And I think obviously there's different meanings that you could run with your perspective when you listen to that song.
Yeah.
Redemption song.
Yeah.
But I also just watched the Bob Marley movie and
Okay.
he was in the process of writing that song. He was in a pretty deep mental state where his life was on the line. The protection of his life was questionable. And I love that. I love every lyric in that song.
That's super powerful. You killed that, by the way.
Thanks.
Did you you hear his grandson's song that's going viral now?
Yeah, Praise
Bruh.
Jah in the Moonlight.
I feel like that song got so gentrified.
It did.
Every
They-
time I
they
see it,
ruined
it's on like some like
random
white
influencers.
hippies page, like trying to be hippie, and I'm
Yeah.
just like,
I'm like, there's a girl like, there was a girl doing her makeup to that song. I'm like, this has nothing to do with that, but whatever.
literally.
You're just doing it because
I mean,
it's
I'm
viral.
stoked that his song is popping off and success, you know, but like, huh.
Timing too.
Yeah, for real.
Very.
Lining up right with the movie. What would you say is your biggest flex?
Being Jelani Tavai's girlfriend. I just told him that today too. Because we were talking to Makalapa Elementary today,
Oh, okay.
fifth graders. And I went up, I shared a little bit of myself. I told them I'm just a Hawaii kid like you guys. Made it to the highest level of my sport. Any questions? So what it's like to be in the NFL? I'm like, oh, that's for you. And then I could
Classic.
have just walked outside the classroom because all the questions was for him. Good questions though.
So, what would be some great advice for young women who look up to you?
I'd say to stay true to yourself. The most important thing to always remember is that there is nobody like you. And anything that you can do, maybe someone can do it better, maybe they don't do it as well. But if you keep working and pursuing that passion, you can be the best you that God made possible. So I would say know how important and valuable you are and always remember your worth.
Solid. You hear that? All you future aspiring mana wahine, know your worth. I feel like a lot of people in general don't. Like, a lot of people get caught up comparing themselves, and I always like to say that comparison is the thief of joy.
It really is.
Cause like you could be happy with like your situation, your car, but then if you start comparing yourself to like Bill Gates, you're not gonna be as happy.
You said it was the Bill Gates?
Yeah. Who are some mana wahine that influence you to succeed?
I'd say my mom. My mom is a mana wahine, whether she knows it or not. She has never showed us herself having a bad day. Like my mom is so consistent. I really aspire to be that. You know, she is a dream mom for me. So kudos to you, mom. Mana wahine all day. And my sister, she's a mother of 4. She handles it better than I know anybody can. 'Cause kids are not easy, and she makes it look so easy. And yeah, man. I would say musicians, because I don't know them personally, and they say you don't want to meet your idols. Yeah. The lyrics actually of Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
Or Janae Aiko, I'd say.
Yeah.
Her. I'm missing a lot, but those women who have had the mana to share that part of their life or that realization, whether they wrote it or not, they sang that from their heart, and that's what inspires me to share what I feel and what I've experienced through music.
Solid.
And those are just some of the artists, female artists that I look up to.
You can't ever name them all when
Cannot.
asked on the spot.
Yeah, cannot.
Yeah. Oh, this is the question I was gonna say. What kind of impact do you hope to make through your platform?
Maybe not. I mean, I would like to impact people in person because, you know, you can't read everything through the platform, which social media platform, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But I would like to inspire. I like to say that I share through my social media, I share life through my own lens. And how much I get to see of the world in my life as a pro athlete, as a musician, as a girlfriend of one of the best linebackers in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's an awesome, extraordinary lifestyle I never thought I would get to experience, But sport at the highest level is such a different life.
Yeah.
It is a full-time job to support somebody in that life.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine being that. Jelani is in the facility for more than 12 hours a day some days. And I'm just waiting for him to come home and make him feel better if there's any way that I can, you know.
Yeah.
So I'd say I'd inspire you to follow your dreams and pursue your passions because you live one life.
Yeah.
That's absolutely it. And we don't get days back.
Yeah.
If there's an opportunity, grab it. If there's 2 or 3 things that you're passionate about or that you love, do them all.
Yeah, for sure. That was beautifully put. I feel like a lot of times society itself like makes you give up some of your real passions in order to, just get by.
Yeah.
But it's always great when your passions can actually help provide for yourself too. Yeah. So just a question I like to ask every single of my guests. What does aloha mean to you?
I've actually had this question asked to me a few times, but at the moment, aloha means patience. aloha is giving somebody your time, and letting. In a way, when I think of aloha, I think of my grandparents because they are the epitome of that.
Yeah.
They have so much love to give, and all they ever wanted was my time. And when I think about it, I'm actually getting emotional. My grandpa just wants to sit and talk story.
Yeah.
And he just wants that. That's, he can't do as much anymore, but with my busy days and my busy schedules and with Jelani being home with us, he just wants to talk.
Yeah.
And if there's anything that I can give back with my aloha to my granddad and my gram, it's my time and my patience.
Yeah.
Just sit there. Yeah. Let him ask all the questions.
Yeah.
And share my experiences that I've gotten to see because they paved the way for me to be here.
Yep.
Don't be like, okay, gotta go, or
just brush it off.
You're not gonna get that back.
Yeah, I definitely had to learn that the hard way. Like, I moved out when I was like 15. I just, basically just started living with my friends, paying rent wherever.
Yeah.
And then when I got with my girlfriend in like 2017, well, we was together already, but I started living with her for a while. And then my grandma, like, she'd call me out of the blue, like, oh, Kaika, like, I want you to move back home. And I'm just like, okay, grandma, yeah, whatever, I'll come home. But like, I didn't even know, but it turns out she had stage 4 cancer, and fucking, the next time I see my grandma was like her just passing away.
Yeah.
And like, fuck, I always regret brushing it off.
Yeah. You gotta dig deeper for them because they dug deep for us.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, mahalo for all of your mana'o and stuff. Welcome back from the intermission, folks. I have another special guest. This is like the first time I ever did something like this where we have a secret guest come on mid-episode. But yeah, he is a linebacker for the New England Patriots in the NFL. So that's like the highest of the highest performing wise of football. And I'll let him introduce himself.
So my name is Jelani Tavai. I'm born and raised in Inglewood, California. Went to college out here at UH from 2014 to 2018. After that, I got drafted to the Lions in the second round, and then had a 2-year campaign there, and then now going on my 4th season with the Patriots. So in total, I'm going on year 6. But good to be here. Yeah.
Super sick, bro. Thank you guys both for your time and your mana'o. I really appreciate it. I know you guys are super busy and got a lot going on, so you guys making time to come out here really means a lot. And yeah, mahalo. So growing up in Inglewood, bro, you gotta talk about that. How was that? Especially like being a poly.
Yeah, no, it was tough. You know, you gotta know where you're supposed to be out there. You gotta. I think as a kid, you learn how to have your head on a swivel at all times. You know what your surroundings is, and our main goal as siblings. I'm one of 7, so there's 6 boys, 1 girl. But our main goal was to get out of Inglewood. Find a way out and prosper elsewhere. And we were blessed and fortunate that not just myself, but my brothers had an opportunity to go play in Division I, and then a few of us also made it to the NFL. So
solid.
We created a standard for ourselves. That, we wanted to make it in life, and not saying that making it to the NFL is the only way to make it in life. Yeah. Our mission and our goals were always in sports, because we weren't going to let our God-given talent go to waste. Yeah. And it's unfortunate that sometimes some people allow that to happen, but it was good that each and every one of us had each other's back and motivated each other constantly. It was so chaotic in our household because of how competitive we were with each other. You know, and to this day it still is. You know, we have our little bickering. And
rivalries,
oh,
competitiveness.
yeah, you know, and it could be in anything, card game, pickleball.
Yeah.
And like we can't play football against each other. We're too big now. Like we're gonna hurt each other. So we find other activities where we're gonna have fun with it, and then the fun turns into, you know,
It's competition.
competition,
Yeah. So did you ever get to play against any of your relatives in like the professional level?
No, I missed my brother by a year.
Oh, okay.
But I got to play with my younger brother.
Oh, sick.
So my younger brother was we were fortunate enough that you know, Bill Belichick and the staff brought my younger brother Justice onto the team during last year's last year's preseason.
Okay.
So I got to spend months with him as a Patriot. Got to see him wear the blue, silver, and red, and you know, getting to practice with him, getting to show him the ropes around what it feels like, get his feet wet.
Yeah.
And, like what the true NFL like lifestyle is.
Like what a big brother would do.
Yeah, you know?
What's cool about this brother played with him Pop Warner.
Yeah, played
high
with
school,
yeah, and every
college.
sport. So it was kind of a surreal moment because like what Kalei said, like he and I did everything together.
Yeah.
You know, whether it was baseball, football, rugby.
Literally like from the
anything.
trenches to the
Yeah.
pros
Follow
together.
him to U8.
Oh, that's so
So-
sick.
I mean, I don't want to say he followed me, but like because he earned his scholarship,
Yeah.
he earned his way to where he got, and then when he got to New England, he earned his way to get to the NFL level. You know?
Yeah.
So one of them got to play with me, and then the other was got signed with the Seahawks.
Oh, sick.
So they were both rookies the same year, same year, and then. Yeah, I missed my older brother. He was with the Titans for a few years and then went to Canada. Finished his career in Europe.
Oh, CFL?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick too. What is the main differences between
Different
CFL?
roles, so different fields, different ball. I don't know this like their full like rules, but my brother told me that they're much different.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because like hearing Canadians play football, you wouldn't think, but like their league is like really huge over there. Like that's the football they watch.
Yeah, that's pretty much the Grey Cup.
Yeah, it was nuts when Chad Owens was balling out over there.
Yeah.
He was doing good.
He was doing his thing.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see, you know, a lot of Hawaii ties make it out. If it's not in the NFL, like I said, there's other gateways. If we're talking football, then you know the CFL is a great pathway.
Yeah.
Now you have the UFL, and if guys want to go overseas, the ones I want to watch is the Japanese leagues. I hear their stadium is bumping during their season.
Yeah.
You know, if they make it to the championship, whoever it is, like
The fans are freaking lit. Yeah, that must be nuts in Japan. And I feel like they're just so respectful as a culture that the experience like just must be all positive.
Yeah.
Like it's not like they're throwing shit at you guys or
But
like
I feel like
booing.
their chants have to be on point. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's like the most similar thing that I would relate it to is probably like Kuku. Kuku is so organized with their chants and like out here in Hawaii.
Their togetherness.
Yeah.
Like you have like when Kuku couldn't perform the haka like before the game, you had the fans like actually prepping and learning it. So when they went to States, they did it in the bleachers. So
Classic.
That's freaking cool as heck.
Yeah, that is super cool.
Yeah.
Even when I think it was my graduation year, their graduation went viral. They did like the whip and the nene and stuff. But they pulled it off.
Yeah. I saw that. A few of the boys showed me that. That was back when I was
I was
freshman or
senior
sophomore
in college. Yeah, I was a senior in high school. Right, that was
all
fun.
the Kuku boys were so proud for.
Yeah.
The locker room talk is too funny.
Yeah.
Because it would always be the Kuku boys, or I wouldn't say the Kuku boys. It would always be the Hawaii boys going at it with each other. Like, well, come on, man, we beat St. Louis all 4 years I was there, and then it'll take one guy from the mainland to join the conversation, and then next you know it's, Hawaii would have beat you. Like California and then Texas. Like so it was always cool. And it's funny because even to this day, like when I'm in the locker room in the Patriots like, locker room, we just had this conversation because it was. We finally have high schools that travel, like Kuku travels.
Yeah,
to the
Bishop
mainland.
Gorman. Yeah.
So we had a Texas California thing. So it was like because I think Modern Day, which is like one of the best high schools in Southern California, traveled up to Texas and beat 2 teams.
Oh, mean.
And then so we hold that over the Texas guys.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
So you represent, like, you're a proud Cali boy then?
I am, Yeah.
Yeah.
Proud to be from Inglewood. No shame in it, but it's definitely molded me to be who I am. So,
Yeah, for sure. Environment has a lot to do with how you turn out. Yeah. But I just always love meeting my diaspora cousins, polys that grew up outside of Polynesia.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, your guys' worldview must be so like.
It's different.
It's cool though, cause it's both, Like.
I'll share one fun thing about me. Like I told you, I'm very nonchalant. I'm super. I used to be more naive, but I really don't care what's going on around me. This guy, head on the swivel everywhere, so it's perfect. Like
balance,
it's a perfect pair because
she gets to be
I get to be not a thing in my head. I'm not thinking about nothing but what we're doing right in front of me, and he's always on. He's protective. He's like very, observant.
Yeah.
And that's his. He grew up with
having to be
more reasons to be on.
Yeah.
On alert.
For sure.
I'm like.
People we get into scraps and stuff in Hawaii, but I got a gun pulled on me in Texas.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine how bad Inglewood is. And it was literally, bro, the guy was driving past me and he's like, fuck you. So of course I'm like, bro, fuck you. And then he's just like, what? And I was just like, tail tucked, soup,
yeah, it's different.
Nothing. I'm trying to go back home, bro.
Yeah.
It's not, you ain't worth it.
Yeah. No, it's different, like, there's stories I couldn't tell, but like, dead bodies, like gunshots everywhere. What sucks is the difference between a firework and a gunshot.
Yeah.
That's what people shouldn't be so used to.
Explosives and shit. Yeah. You can tell the difference between the blast. Oh, that was a 9 mil, 45 that one.
that was the shitty part about it, but I don't know. It's so. There's so many people that make it out of Inglewood nowadays. Whether it's rappers, whether it's NFL guys or
content creators.
And which is great, So I always take pride in what we do, because you're at the bottom right there.
Yeah.
Like most people, like they say that's the ghetto or that's the hood. So for us to make it out of the hood, through our struggles and through our
just everything.
Times,
yeah.
I'm blessed that I get to wake up right now. I get to be over here in the Lo'i, and then I can go North Shore, go cruise at the beach, or I always have that thought in my head where it's like, man, when you guys were talking about things could be worse, I've been through there, and I know I had it bad, but like you guys said, there's always worse, and I always have that in my mind, it could be,
Bro, when I catch myself complaining about little shit in my life, I'm just like, oh wait, but 90% of the world is I'm chilling.
Yeah.
First world problems.
For real.
Yeah.
So how did you two meet?
So we met at her gig.
Oh, sick.
So she was performing at Sweet Enemy, and
this was during COVID.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, year after.
This was 2021, so we were still in lockdown.
Okay.
Only 5 people in a public area.
So what, you just singing to
I was on a live stream.
Oh, that kind of
doing
gig.
a live stream concert, with full on cameras in front and
production.
Yep. And then it was for a fundraiser, and then Jelani came walking in.
Yeah, I was in my off season actually, and COVID. So you haven't heard any live music. All you're listening to is what's on the radio or on YouTube. Everybody's doing
your same playlist is overplayed already.
Everybody's doing the Tiny Desk, so all you're doing is watching that. So I was talking to a few guys, and my barber actually told me, he was like, yeah, you guys should just come through, or you should just come and swing by Drew spot, which is Sweet Enemy's owner.
Okay.
Drew Honda, and I was like, oh, okay. And I think this was either a Tuesday or a Thursday because I was playing rugby. I was running around. And I was right after. I was like, let's go watch. So we went to Sweet Enemy. It was me and one of my best friends, Kalei Chung, and we went to go grab some beers, put in the cooler. We thought it was gonna be more people in there, like maybe 10 people or whatnot. We get there, it's just the performers, Drew, and probably 3 other people.
Real intimate kind,
So we walk in with the cooler, we sit down on the chair, and we just start cracking open some beers and just listening. And we thought more people were gonna show up, but none. So they were like, "Oh, this is cool." So she started performing, and I was amazed by her talent, and of course she's beautiful. So
like a High School Musical story, huh?
Yeah. So we stayed to the end, and then afterwards we had a good conversation that led to.
Some baby girl.
Yeah.
I like your number.
I actually didn't get her number that night. Yeah.
Funny, classic.
Yeah.
So everything worked out, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So when you spend time in Hawaii, like you guarantee you get mistaken for a local all the time. Like how do you?
Since college.
Yeah. How do you navigate through? Like, do you tell people like, oh, I'm actually from Cali, or do you just let them believe?
No, I tell them. I'll tell them like if they ask, like most times people don't ask, so I'll just go with the wind. And just play it off.
Yeah.
And luckily I can hold my own with the conversation if someone's talking pidgin or whatnot.
Yeah.
So,
his dad is from Kalihi.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So my dad is actually from here. He was born and raised in KBT, went Farrington.
Solid.
My mom is from Western Samoa, so the pidgin wasn't too hard to pick up because my mom speaks very broken English. And so, and then my dad used to have a strong pidgin accent as well. I couldn't understand him growing up. So the worst is if he called the house, and I was at home and he was trying to tell me to go do something. I was like, what?
I love how the dynamic changes though. Like if an uncle goes up to Jelani, boy, where you from?
Yeah.
What? So like, where you from? And he'll be like, oh, Inglewood. And he'll go, oh.
Where is
like
that?
Disconnect.
Yeah.
And he goes, but my dad from Kalihi, he goes, oh,
right
for
back.
real? Who your dad? So like the connection comes back,
instant.
That's
so funny.
They'll be like, I don't know, it's always the Inglewood. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like they'll just, everybody, there's always a negative
connotation.
When somebody says something about Inglewood or any type of hood that's in California. You got Compton, you got Linwood, you got anything. So or
Oakland,
or Watts.
Yeah.
So like, there's always a negative thought to it, but I know a lot of the uncles who watch the old school movies, they'll start cracking up about it. So, but it is funny whenever they're caught off guard every time I'll say like I'm from Inglewood.
Yeah, no, I definitely was.
Yeah.
So Kalei, what do you? Not trying to sound like weird or anything, but like what do you do nowadays with your time, like maybe while he's like playing in the season and stuff? Like do you have any, I guess, avenues or projects that you've been working on too?
So I like to say I'm a full-time content creator now. So I work with a lot of brands, mostly Hawaiʻi brands.
Yeah.
I have some big companies that I have worked with in the past, and then I do like temporary deals or sometimes long-term contracts with them. Waiakea being one of them.
Mean.
Shout out Waiakea.
Shouts out. The water is ono.
Yeah. So I do my content creation when I'm home alone. I did a semester at Harvard.
Oh.
I got accepted into the School of Business.
That's super sick.
Just this past semester I got to do that, which was amazing.
Like getting accepted is hard enough, huh?
Yeah.
Bruh.
It is. Thank
Pounds.
you. Yeah. So I got through the semester, and all I really have to say is it's doable.
Mean.
But it does take a lot, and it makes you think a lot. But met some great people, and then I take care of him. I am an athlete myself, and I always will be. And so I try to make the environment at home healthy
Yeah.
and good and uplifting.
Lomi.
Yeah, make him feel good and strong until the next Sunday comes. You know, like it's funny. Jelani and I did long distance for the very beginning of our relationship. Actually, it was more like 2 years, 2.5 years.
Oh,
maybe 1.5 years. Sorry.
Okay.
I was in the Philippines. I played in Puerto Rico. I was basically back and forth during my season. So we didn't really get to have that, build that constant, have the time to argue or have the time to make our disagreements into compromise.
Yeah, you guys just was missing each other so much that every time you got together was just
it was honeymoon.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was just like, so the real challenge happened when we moved in. You know, you're moving in, you're living with somebody that you love, but learning so much about them.
Yeah, you don't know other habits, but
exactly. And so I got to this past year for the full season and just being in his space. And I don't want to be with anyone. Like, there is nobody for me than him. And I feel that because he is home to me. Yeah. Even when we're all the way on the East Coast. We're in Massachusetts, and I felt like, oh, I don't have to go home, babe. I want to be home with him if I'm gonna, because this right here is home for me. So
that's a nice feeling.
Yeah.
I have that same feeling with my girlfriend too. Like, yeah, whenever I go on a trip without her, it's shitty, but whenever we're together, I'm just like, hey, we can do whatever. It doesn't matter as long as I'm with you.
Yeah, exactly.
So what, Jelani, what does your name mean is it a Samoan name?
No, it's made up.
Oh.
So my name is spelled Jahlani. So my dad and his Jamaican friend made it up. So from what my mom told me, because my dad don't talk. He's
introvert.
Very quiet man. My mom told me that they took Ja from their Rastafarian god. And then Lani from, I don't know what park it was out here in Hawaii, but then of course Lani in Hawaiian means heaven.
Heaven, yeah.
But there's a specific park that my mom always talked about.
Kapiolani.
Maybe. We'll confirm it. But yeah, they made it up like that between my dad and his Jamaican friends, and then they figured it out. Jelani was the right one.
Oh, that's super cool, bro.
So you can have a lot of meaning behind it.
Yeah, the heavenly Ja.
Yeah, exactly. So it's pretty cool. But I don't know. My brother still has like probably the coolest name. My youngest brother.
You gotta drop it now.
Yeah, Jagger.
Oh, mean.
Yeah. So he's got one of the good ones.
Solid.
Yeah.
So did you know that you were like growing up? Did you always like wanna play football?
No. I actually wanted to play rugby.
Oh, okay.
But then it was funny because you guys were talking about it earlier with careers. Like, I wanted to play rugby, but like career-wise, as a kid, I liked video games. You know?
Yeah.
We all do. You know? As boys, you know, we grew up either playing video games or being outside and running around. Yeah. And I told the kids that we were talking today, I was like, yeah, there's two things I wanted to be. It was a video game designer or a fireman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
two totally opposite things.
Way opposites. And but rugby was always my passion, and unfortunately there was no scholarships or no pathways for for athletes to have at the time.
Yeah.
Now they do, but so football was my backup plan, actually. Which is weird to say, huh?
Yeah, it worked out. A good backup plan, bro. So what would you say was like one of the most challenging moments in your professional career so far?
There was a few, you know. Injuries are tough, you know. Yeah. But the transition, you know, when I got released from Detroit and then transitioning to a new team, trying to figure out what team I was going to try and sign to, or if there was going to be a team who was going to sign me, you know. So just being in the unknown, which is one of the toughest things for athletes. Mm-hmm. Not knowing, being so consistent on being an athlete that at one point it was like, dang, I might be done with with football.
Damn.
If I don't get a phone call
Yeah,
or something,
yeah.
you know. So when I got released from Detroit, it was like my kind of like time where I was just like, you know, I was probably in the dumps. I don't want to say I like it was depression because I didn't. It wasn't. It was just more of me facing my inner demons and like it was me asking myself so many questions like what am I like or who am I. So it was a tough time, but you know I had such amazing people to get me out of the dump. You know, such as this one right here.
Solid.
And my siblings and my parents. Yeah. Anytime I needed to talk, I know like whoever it was I was gonna call, they could answer. And so.
Yeah, a good support system definitely. It goes a long way, bro.
Yeah. She's seen it. Like my brothers and I, like we're like glue. You know?
That's solid.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of like a, I guess. I feel like polys that grow up not like in the Pacific, they're really close because like
even tighter.
Yeah, because they don't have
the community, the lack of community.
Exactly. Yeah, like they don't even have like. It's not like they can go to their cousin's house to go cruise.
That's what I was telling you about. How trippy, and I have so much respect for his mom.
Yeah,
she's so like the infamous Mama Tavai.
Like, my mom
does it all.
My mom should be the one doing be in my spot right now. She should be the one being interviewed because
she really should.
She did it all. Like there's 7 of us, bro. Like, and we're not little kids. Like, for me, I felt little because I would like. If I stood next to my siblings,
you're little.
Young, my younger brothers are bigger than me. My younger brothers are still bigger than me. You know, so like, and so if you get a clear image of that, like now imagine 7 of us. You know, like we had at the time, like at one point we had 1 car, like so we were like finding ways around. Like I told her like from school, like if we get dropped off at school, it's an hour walk back. So like we have to walk. If my mom and dad can't come get us, we're walking the full hour.
Yeah.
You know, and like we were journeymen. Like it was crazy. Like that was our like early day lifting. You know, we had backpacks full of books,
walking miles.
And, yeah, you know, and then like we would you know, unfortunately like growing up we didn't have much, so like we'd find ways to get around. Like if it was taking a few quarters from someone or finding a few quarters near something, like we were gonna do our best to seize the opportunity. You know,
straight up, go-getters.
So just so we could save that up, and then at the time to get on the bus it was $1.25. So we would just everybody got to figure out how to get $1.25. If we can get it, then we'll jump on the bus and then take that straight shot all the way to the house and then jump off and walk the rest. You know, so like. And then going back to my mom, like having to go from this park to go grab us, to drop us off, to go to the next practice, and then go another like 2 cities over to like she did it all, like and never. I probably could say she never missed a game. Like,
that's super sick.
Like at least from. Little leagues to high school.
Yeah.
You know, and she always made her way out here when I played at UH, and then it was such a blessing that 3 of my brothers got to play in California. So one went to USC, and then the other 2 went to San Diego State.
Okay.
So like
they got to watch the home games.
Yeah. So like it was like when my brothers at SC, we're all going to USC. Like or something tailgating. Yeah. And then when my younger brothers were at San Diego State. Everybody's making the trip down to San Diego, and we're gonna tailgate.
That's super cool.
She makes it happen.
She's Superwoman.
So she's like the anchor of your guys' family, holds it down.
Oh, yeah. When she left to Samoa, it was chaos. We were just like, what do we do?
That's classic. So you were saying your mom is from Western Samoa. Can you just kind of explain the difference between Western and American Samoa?
So the difference is basically one is an American territory, like Puerto Rico, or you know, and then Western Samoa is its own independent country. So in American Samoa, you can do anything an American citizen can do except vote. And then in Western Samoa, you need a passport.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's his own thing. That's what. Yeah.
So American Samoa has American passport?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sick. Is it like?
Unless of course they have that, but I'm not too familiar with American Samoa. I just
Yeah.
know the backgrounds of things.
So
That, yeah.
is it like Samoa is how much islands? Is it just like divided in half, like Western Samoa, American?
No. So they're two separate. So
Okay.
Pongo Pongo is what most people are familiar with American Samoa.
Okay.
And then there's in Western Samoa it's Upolu and
Sava'i.
Bro, you
Did
know
you
that's
know
connections between Hawaii and Samoa?
I think Samu sent me your video of it, or was it some type of connection made
in
through
Big
that?
Island, I think
Yeah,
it's a
Big Island. There's Upolu. There's a place that guarantee an ali'i from Samoa came and settled there, and yeah.
So huge, yeah.
I think that part in like Polynesian history is so cool. Like when they was voyaging back and forth between each other, like a lot. Like that era in time must have been like killer, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
I want him to dig deeper into his roots and genealogy, but his last name Tawai has so much meaning. Like it could be the ocean.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he'll have to ask his dad, which his dad doesn't.
Yeah, she always tells
share
me that,
too
but
much.
like I just know my legacy like starts with my brothers and my parents and my sister. You know, we like if we don't know our history, we can create our own history.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
And then we can set the foundation on what's to lead after.
Yeah.
You know, if we don't, what most people, what I always learned about history is you learn from history.
Yeah.
You know, whether you repeat history or you're gonna learn from it. You know, and I do my best to learn from everything that I do, whether it's a mistake or if it's a triumph victory. You know, I'm gonna. If it was a victory, how did I get to this? If it was a loss, or if it was something that I did wrong, or just a mistake, you know,
Yeah.
how can I get to this?
Yeah.
You know, so same thing goes for my family. You know, like my brothers and I, we knew where we started. Where our foundation was. We're
Humble beginnings.
you know, exactly. You know, like we're from Inglewood. Went to UH. If you've been to UH, you went to UH, you know what I mean, because if you can make it out of UH, you can make it anywhere. You know?
Did you dorm there?
The dorm there was Lehua 309. You know, our weight room just got updated after 30 years, I guess, or however long UH has been alive. You know, you're sleeping with centipedes, you're sleeping with roaches. You know, like, you know, you don't have the luxuries that they did at Arizona, USC. Or the big time schools. You know, we don't have food like
halls.
Yeah, we don't. You know, so you better find a way to get around it.
Yeah.
You know?
I really hope this video reaches all you UH athletes. You can do it.
You know, and that's what I love about coming back. And she knows this. I love coming back to UH because it gets me grounded. It gets me back to who I am and staying true to who I am.
Yeah.
You know, not getting big headed and knowing that. At one point, I was in these kids' shoes where I didn't have nothing. So why would I act like as if
above them?
Yeah, you know, I'm always gonna be at their level. But I told them face to face. I was like, when y'all do make it, best believe that's not gonna be easy because I'm not gonna let you beat me at my job. You know? You know, I strive to tell them or just encourage them to don't give up.
Yeah.
Like. I know that the new system of the NCAA is different, but there's always diamonds and roughs. You know, there's always going to be the hidden gems. So be that.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah.
When you first pulled up, we was kind of diving into our little anime, geeking out a little bit.
I'm gonna leave.
What is some lessons that an anime has, I guess, taught you that you apply in real life?
There's so many. You know, like you can't, you know, as crazy as I would, like growing up, I would always say like Dragon Ball Z was my go-to.
Yeah.
But like now, the stuff that they're making is just crazy.
Yeah.
You know? And then people are gonna hate me for this, but now I like Naruto more than I do Dragon Ball Z. You know, like
bro,
the storyline and everything. Don't ever bring Boruto stuff around me. That thing is so rubbish.
I actually heard the manga is picking up now.
Yeah,
finally.
Okay, but Naruto is great because it reminded me of me, someone who was, you know, different. Like
Yeah.
I was, where I was, there's not many, like now there is, you know, but at the time there wasn't many like Samoans in
Poly,
India,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
There was, in my middle school there wasn't many Samoans. I was telling Kalei, I was like, in my middle school it was either you're like Mexican or you're Filipino.
Oh,
Everybody else was just 1%. Like
Yeah.
like you were just different.
yeah.
You know, so
There's
you were
not
an
even
outcast.
categories for you.
Yeah, but like I was cool with everybody. I showed love to everybody, but you felt different. You know,
Yeah.
'cause you know, it is what it is. You look different than everybody else.
Yep.
So like same with Naruto, like he was the outcast, and then you know strive to become Hokage.
Yeah.
You know, that was my goal, which was to become the best. You know, now it's football.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there's a lot of life lessons in those, and in sports in general. So
Yeah.
that was by far one of my favorites.
Yeah, Naruto is actually the anime that got me like heavily invested into anime.
Cause you,
Like
especially if
everybody
you didn't-
watches Dragon Ball growing up, but
Yeah.
like I just thought the fights and drawing was cool.
Yeah,
But like
see,
Naruto,
yeah.
I paid attention. I like fucking got to know the characters.
And then
Bro,
it's
and
just
like it's
crazy.
killer. He grows up with you.
Yeah.
Like you're a kid watching
Yeah.
him as a kid, and then
And
when
then,
you're a
yeah.
teenager, he's a
He's a
fucking teenager too.
teenager.
You're just like, oh fuck, my boy.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just, and when I was younger, I think Naruto and Dragon Ball Z were around the same time too. Like when Naruto came out, and I was like, I can't go over to
Yeah.
that yet. And then when I started watching it in college, I was like, dang.
Well, I was
Should've
missing
watched
out.
it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
missed out on a lot.
Yeah. For sure, bro. That's classic.
Yeah.
So, what other animes do you like? What are you watching right now?
So right now, I just watched the Demon Slayer.
The movie.
So far, it's so good. The first episode was fire. There's a lot. Chainsaw Man. There's
Jujutsu.
Jujutsu
Yeah,
Kaisen.
that
that
was
was fire.
You ever check out Solo Leveling yet?
That's what I was about to say.
Bro, that one is
Yeah.
sick too.
So
Yeah.
my brothers told me to watch or read the manga, and I was like, let's see.
Yeah, reluctant. Yeah.
And then I was like, nah, I'll just watch the anime.
I was the same way, bro. My friend been telling me about that manga like 3 years, bro, already.
Yeah, same.
He's like, you fucker, you gotta read it. You got me into One Piece.
Yeah, one of my really great friends, Dakota. He's the one that always tries to get me on the new and upcoming animes that I should be, or mangas that I should be reading.
Turn you on to them,
Yeah, and then lo and behold, they always turn out great. So that was one of my like guys that I bonded with when it came to anime.
Solid.
You went UH with me.
Okay, mean. So growing up in Inglewood, I'm guessing you didn't really get to learn a lot about your culture.
No, just
Samoan side?
So actually, luckily, I was blessed enough to live out there in Samoa for a few years.
Me.
My mom and dad moved us out there for a bit, and then we would always go out there for family reunions. So
Solid.
got to experience the lifestyle, the early morning masses, you know, heavy Christianity out there.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
my grandma's one of the strict Catholics, so she's going to church at 4 a.m. and then getting in, and you better be awake to do your fail, do your chores.
Yeah.
You know, we had so she like I come from a big family, but my mom comes from a big family. She's one of 18.
Oh.
And you know, so like big house, big property,
Yep.
big land.
Yeah.
Not as big as this, but like it was a good portion. So it was a lot to clean up.
Yeah, a lot of work, bro.
Yeah.
That's
So,
why.
yeah.
That's probably why they had 18 kids.
Yeah.
Okay, you gotta clean that. You
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
clean
yeah,
that.
exactly.
We need help.
So
Hands on deck.
Yeah, we had our livestock too. We had our pigs, but we never were friendly with them because we knew we were about to eat them.
Yeah.
You know, and
Kind of be mixing emotions.
Yeah. So we always, we had. It's always great because you get to experience living off the land.
Yeah.
My grandma, she had her garden in the front, and then in the back was all the fruits,
Food,
all the food that we could
yeah.
have, and then
Ulu.
yeah, I saw you had some right here.
Yeah. The load.
Yeah.
The season is a little bit ending, but there's still a few
Yeah.
stragglers.
No, those are yummy.
Yeah.
Oh, one right here.
So, Kalei, did you ever get to go to Samoa yet?
I haven't. I went to the Cook Islands and we stopped in Pango Pango. My
Mean.
mom was a flight attendant,
Oh, okay.
so I got to see a lot of the world even when I was a kid.
Shit.
But it's beautiful in the South Pacific.
Yeah.
We gotta go.
Yeah, we missed our my family reunion this Christmas time. They went in Christmas, but I was in season, so we were stuck in the cold, which sucks.
So, what do you feel like has been your biggest accolade so far with your career? Give yourself some props.
Biggest accolade? My biggest thing was buying my mom and dad a house, buying my family a house, being able to provide for them, because that was always one of our goals as
It's like every
siblings.
kid's dream, like
Right.
especially kids that grow up in the struggle. I feel
Yeah.
like that's always their dream
Like-
is I gotta make sure my parents are set because
Yeah.
you see how much they sacrifice and work, and it's
100%.
like, bruh,
And
it hurts
especially-
you.
Especially since my mom didn't have she's got a lot of friends, but like she didn't have a lot to lean on. Like she's got siblings, but her siblings got family to feed too. So
Yeah.
like, anytime we needed anytime that we needed stuff, my mom always found a way to get it done. Whether it was finding equipment, getting us on a team to play on, and it's not cheap in the mainland.
Bruh.
And I'm sure it's not even cheap. out
Even
here either.
equipment isn't cheap.
Yeah. So like, for her to get all of us through sports where you have to pay, like she would have to go work in the snack bar, do extra stuff for the team, and she always just found a way. Even we didn't have money, so if it was our day to do the snack bar, or not the snack bar, but like the snacks for the team at the end,
Musubis.
well, she always planned it to where she saved enough. Even if she had to go bingo and save that money for bingo, like she would gamble it just so she could be like, she could
Provide
make us
the
look good,
be the
like
team mom
she
kind of.
could provide the after game snack,
Yeah.
Yeah, since I was young and being able to see all that and seeing the struggle that we lived through, I was like, yeah, that's gonna be something one day that I'm gonna achieve, which is buy a house.
Like, don't worry, you guys don't need to struggle no more.
Yeah. So now we're just trying to create an empire for ourselves.
Solid.
Now we created the foundation, and now we just gotta put pillars.
Wow, that's beautiful, dude. So where did you end up scooping up some?
So so I wanted to move them somewhere where we can buy land and buy like big property for them. And of course they didn't want to leave California, but, so I bought a house in Gardena, like close to Torrance.
Okay.
So it's still in Los Angeles. Nice like 5-bedroom house. Everybody has their own room finally, except my parents, of course. They sleep together.
Yeah.
But it's weird. It's weird, like when we go home and see that my younger brother and younger sister have their own rooms.
Because we never
Yeah,
had our own room.
Like, oh, it's spoiled.
Yeah. So like, if it was my 2 older brothers that had a room together, it was me and my brother Justice, who I did everything with, and then the last room was my parents' room. So it was child number 5, number 6, and number 7 that stayed with them.
Okay.
Until each and every one left, then we all like moved up a room.
Yeah.
So
That's class. You get the hand-me-down room.
yeah, pretty much.
That's funny.
So we was small, barely could fit twin-sized beds in them. So we make it do.
Bruh, I grew up in my living room. I never had a bed until I started going out with my girlfriend and started sleeping at her house. I grew up on a futon in my living room, bro. Don't take your beds for granted, kids.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All our beds were heavy downs until I got blessed to make it to the NFL.
Yeah.
Now my furniture when I was in Detroit, I've shipped everything to LA. Now all the beds, all the rooms are all my beds from Detroit. Now she provided us with an amazing bed. And
Just collabs. Working with.
Yeah.
Mean.
So
Our whole house is that.
Yeah. What's the
That's
Hawaii brand?
NoHo Home.
NoHo.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, they make good
They
stuff.
hooked us up with
I'm
some.
gonna actually start doing a partnership with them just because it has so much of it helps us to connect, like, and stay rooted.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
If you walk in after a cold day outside, you walk into our home in our apartment, and you just like feel at home. You're just like,
Me.
ooh, look at this.
The climate is set already.
Yeah, don't even look out the window. Just in the house, it's like, you know, aloha print.
Yeah.
There's beautiful, like we're still growing, and he wants to put anime on the walls. I'm just like, I'll cave in soon, but I'm like, no, I want it to be. I just want it to be like feeling like Kahaluʻu.
Yeah. That's funny. I got some anime posters on my wall, but
Oh, my house in Gardena, one of the rooms the room we sleep in actually, anime against the wall.
When I
You got haiku, the volleyball.
Yeah,
You got everything. Bleach.
The first time I ever hung out with it, like he invited me to come to California. I went there, and this was one of the first times I got to go into his home.
Oh, yeah.
And I go into the room, and there's just like a poster of Mario,
Oh yeah.
one of Luigi,
Gamer.
one of like Dragon Ball Z. I'm like, is this your room?
And then in my brother's room, it was the apartment at the time, or it was a condo. We go into my brother's room because we're staying in his room because he was staying with his lady.
Yeah.
And it's all One Piece wanted posters.
Oh, yeah. Bro, that's what I wanted to do with mine, but it would have took too much space.
Yeah, so he did it all. So each wall was a wanted poster.
Yeah, that's sick. That's so funny. So what, Kalei? You're still kind of not on board the anime train fully? Slowly getting your feet wet?
I went to the movie with him. I stayed up for about maybe 30 minutes. After I was done with my popcorn, I crashed out. I'm trying to, but it's not something that I like. Avatar.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like Aang, Katara, yip, appa, yip.
There's
I
plenty
love
more,
that,
just like-
but
Yeah.
but I'm like, I don't know. I'm a grown up. I like to
I
see
mean,
realistic. Like if I'm gonna watch something and sit down and give my attention to, it has to be something I'm gonna take from it.
wow,
But
that's so funny.
you guys talking about the lessons that you learned from it, I'm like, oh, cool, okay. I'll
Yeah,
wait.
you gotta get past it being a cartoon.
Yeah.
And just like appreciate the story,
Trying
the
to.
world building. My girlfriend, she does not. She honestly lied to me when we first started talking. Told me she was into it. Wasn't even into it. And I'm like, oh, what? Way to freaking set my hopes up, huh? But it's so funny because, yeah, with the posters on the wall, we was living together for a while, but. Yeah, she was kind of not. Yeah, she wasn't into my room decor. She's like, yeah, no, I'm going home.
It's tough.
We have a second bedroom that I told him you can do whatever you
Yeah.
want. But
This is your room. Leave our room freaking looking normal.
I don't mind. The living room, I'm gonna change it up a little bit. I'm gonna add a little.
That's fun though. You guys get to play like interior design on your own
it's
home.
great. So far, it's all mine. Like it just looks like I live there, but I'm giving him the freedom to, because when he's in season, the last thing he wants to do is like decorate.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, but I'll bring home things. He'll assemble the furniture, whatnot, and then I'll be like, okay, there, put it there. I want that there. I want this there.
Classic.
Yeah.
So, do you guys feel like both of you guys having experience as pro athletes, do you think that makes your guys' relationship easier to understand each other, or do you think it poses more challenges?
I think at first she didn't understand the scheduling behind like the NFL.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think that she thought it was gonna be more free time at the end of the day.
Yeah, I did not
She
understand.
didn't know that like it's a job for us. Like we're there from in Detroit. I was there from like 6 to like 7:30 p.m. Like 6 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. And it's either I'm trying to recover, I'm trying to watch film, I'm doing stuff that I gotta do, and then on top of that, what they want us to do. So like, our mandatory things that they have, and then afterwards, they want to see you do extra. Yeah. And then a lot of times it's always you having to put in extra stuff because as a rookie, like
You gotta prove yourself.
Yeah, you gotta prove yourself, and then you also are far behind.
Yeah.
You're it's not even like you're a few days, months. No, you're years behind because you got vets who have been in the league for 5
decades.
10 years,
Yeah.
And they know, like, even if it's their first time on the team, they know the ins and outs of defenses.
Yeah.
And how to be a professional. You're coming in as a rookie, second year. and you're trying to take their job. So now it's like, yeah, you know,
competitive.
Yeah, so now like they know what they're doing, and on top of that, they're gonna do whatever they got to do to make sure you don't take their job.
Yeah, and it's not like they're gonna teach you everything too that they know. Yeah.
But luckily, I was blessed to have some great vets. You know, I didn't have the experiences my older brother had, where you know sometimes vets were telling him
set you up.
You know.
Oh, like hazing kind of stuff.
No, hazing is part of it. It's more of like, say you're running this play, you're supposed to do this, and instead of doing this, he's telling you do this. You know, and
so that you
makes you look bad.
Makes you look bad.
Yeah.
And now because you did that, the coaches don't trust you.
Yeah.
And if the coaches don't trust you, then the guys that are playing with you don't trust you. So now it's just becoming such a he said, she said.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And you're already dealing with politics.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just part of the game. But now having to deal with that, so when we finally got an understanding of that, it was kind of actually way better, you know.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. I liked the fact that when I was overseas, he understood. I mean, we had a 12-hour time difference.
Oh.
So we didn't talk as much as I would like to.
That's just like text, hello babe, just woke up.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's going to bed.
Yeah.
Like that. So it was really tough, and I don't think anyone that isn't an athlete would
Understand.
wanna have that.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, but now that I am retired from volleyball and I get to give my time to him, I feel like he had an outstanding season, partially because I was there. I feed you well. I let you rest. I do all the things around the house and you don't have to do it. And so I take care of the little things that add up to the big things.
Yeah.
And the support and somebody to come home and talk to, and yeah.
Yeah, coming home to a clean house definitely feels killer.
I'm not a dirty person. There's times where I get lazy and
He doesn't wash the dishes.
Because she's there. So she helps
No, even when I'm not there, I come home after a weekend
that's what the
trip.
dishwasher's for too.
Bro, I don't. Yeah, dishes. That's
Then
not.
put the dishes in the dishwasher.
Just clean
Classic.
stuff in there. Well, she uses the dishwasher as after you're done.
Storage
cleaning.
The
rack.
dryer.
That's how all
The
Hawaii
dryer.
people are. We don't, bro. Dishwashers, that's foreign
Like,
to me. That's a storage rack
I
for
didn't have
dishes.
a dishwasher till I got to the league, but like I was like,
Perfect. This is
I have enough space on the rack. I have enough space on the rack to put my dishes on.
We have one of these.
Yeah.
Solid. Well, Frick, you guys got any last monotony you want to share?
Anything you'd like to share, babe?
What is the Samoan equivalent to aloha? Is it just alofa?
Alofa, like love?
Yeah.
Yeah, alofa.
What does alofa mean to you?
Yeah.
It's a lot, you know. I don't really think about it. I just
Do it. Yeah.
You know, I like she was saying, like I have so much time now, like especially in the off season, and even during the season. To if somebody ever just wants to chop it up, like I don't judge nobody by their looks. I don't judge nobody by their past or their future. I when I talk to them, it's as if I'm meeting a new person every time. I'll introduce. I'll see what they're about. Even if they don't have good energy or whatnot, I still give them the time of day. But if they don't have good energy, then I don't stress myself.
Yeah.
I don't
Let it affect you that bad.
affect me.
Yeah.
But if they do have, then if it turns into something great, like a good friendship, then wonderful.
Yeah.
But I don't I always just treat others the way that I treat everybody else.
Solid.
One thing I do love, and I have to mention, he's one of the most humble people I know, but he will never, obviously, he will never boast about who he is. I also, he will have full conversations with people and not even tell them or
who he
not
is.
even hint who he is, or where, when they ask questions, he's just like, yeah, I'm Jelani. Like, yeah, I'm this. But
I used to
one
have
thing,
a disguise. So I used to. So I don't know. When I was in Detroit, I I don't. So if you notice, I don't wear jewelry. I don't wear stuff like that. Like,
flashy
maybe
stuff.
maybe one day I will, but at the moment I have nothing. I don't need anything. I just need a house, a roof over my family, a roof over our heads, and then whatever whatever our needs are.
Yeah.
But when I was in Detroit, my rookie year, I used to, if people would ever ask who I was, I would either go by my middle name. You're not gonna get my middle name. And then another thing was I wouldn't lie, so I would always tell them what I do. So if somebody would ask me at the time, like if I was in Detroit, they would be like, "So what do you do?" I was like, "Oh, I work for the Ford family," which I did because they were our owners.
That's
like,
funny.
Oh, okay, so what do you do with them? I was like, "Oh, I'm in advertising. I advertise the team, or I do anything for the team." Like
that's classic.
So like, I always pull up clever things, but then now it's just I'd rather somebody get to know me for me than know me because
the football.
Yeah, like, which is great because at least when they do find out that I am a football player, like, well, I would have never known.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's if I'm not around, because I'll be like, yeah, he's a linebacker.
Yeah.
We're at
K-Bay Bros.
We're at K-Bay Bros, and the uncles are like, who is that? And I was like, just giving a thumbs up, and then, can I get this spicy ahi and the volcano?
Yeah.
So funny.
And you hear her.
I'm like, Uncle, he's like one of the best linebackers in the NFL. Hello.
Yeah. Show him off.
I say he's one of my biggest flex. Like,
yeah.
Besides being from Kahaluʻu.
Yeah. Classic. What were you saying? I know you said that you don't like, or you like that he's not boastful, but were you going into something else?
Yeah, he stays true to himself, even with, you know what NFL players can make.
Yeah.
That money.
Yeah.
His house, the house for his family, our apartment, his truck, the necessities is what he claims to be more important.
Yeah.
And even with it, I mean, his teammates, he plays with some of the most flashy guys I've ever seen in my life.
Shoes.
And they give him.
Is this on the camera? Is your house over there? That whole house could be filled with shoe boxes.
Oh.
Like
He has some nuts teammates, bro.
From one corner to the other corner to the middle of the room. You couldn't even walk in because of that whole house, and then probably your garage too. Full
dripping in diamonds.
Whether it's shoes or like their closet. Like I'm telling you, and then
like department store action.
Probably looks like Foot Locker on crack.
Right.
But Ikaika, you're gonna have to follow him because he wears anime every game day.
Oh,
so like his teammates are walking out and just Gucci.
You can wear your Kaikaloha shades.
Shoot,
yeah, and he's wearing like a Demon Slayer character on it with like, you know, since I was there with him this season, I helped him dress up a little.
Yeah.
Like, a bit more fly.
Classic.
But he's got all of his.
I can dress up though. Especially when I suit up.
You gotta show him how you clean up, huh?
Oh, he looks great in suits.
Killer.
Yeah.
A little razzle dazzle.
Well, Frick, I really appreciate your guys' time in Mana'o and for coming out here.
Thank you so
and
much for having
mahalo.
us.
I would definitely, this was probably one of the best episodes I had, just because it just felt like we were just chilling, talking story, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I dig that. And yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Mahalo.
Thank you.
Catch you guys. Bye-bye.